To open tonight's meeting, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so first we'll take action item number 7 out of order, which is the appointment of Kevin Filer as a special police officer for the town of Marshfield. Do you want to break that down for us, Chief?
Sure. Would you like me to come up?
Sure.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Kevin was on his way. I told him that I didn't think we'd get to it till after executive session, so I appreciate he just wanted to be respectful and show up. So last Thursday, Kevin Filer retired from the Marshfield Police Department. He was our safety officer. He was in charge of the motorcycle unit. He was in charge of all of our vehicle purchases. And sorry about that. And right now, due to police reform, in policing, we have to remain flexible and fluid and adapt to the situations that we're currently facing. What I mean by that is we had a permanent intermittent program. We still have it, but it's going to be phased out over the period of time because they are no longer offering a part-time academy. So it'll be just the full-time academy, and you're certified as a full-time police officer or nothing. So the officers that are permanent intermittent officers now, their training level with the basic part-time academy was here. To reach the full-time academy, they have to go to a bridge academy, which is an additional 200 hours. But in addition to that, they have to have 2,400 hours of police experience in the last 5 years. So that does not include details, traffic details or anything like that. So they actually have to be doing shift work. It's pretty much an impossible goal to meet. So the permanent intermittent program will eventually be phased out. Those that are able to do it will stay on and be grandfathered in. There'll be no more permanent intermittent officers hired by our police department, which is too bad because it was basically our farm team, and it gave us an opportunity to see if they were a good fit for policing and to give them a chance to see if they really, enjoyed police work. And it wasn't just the glamorous stuff they see on TV. They're working nights, weekends, holidays. They're away from their families. They're seeing terrible, tragic things happen all the time. So it was a nice program for us to get a view at a candidate before we actually really owned them as far as past their probationary period, and they had the protections of the union and civil service. But that program is going to be phased out. The ones that will come off the list will eventually go full-time, and then there won't be any more. So that program supplemented our full-time staff. Whenever our full-time officers were unavailable or turned down work, they could step in and cover shifts or do details and so on and so forth. So what you're seeing all over the South Shore now, and basically all over the state, is retired officers, recently retired, in good standing, that have been through all the proper training, that have been through a full-time academy, that meet all the criteria under the new police reform, the training for post, will all of a sudden, recently retired state police officers, recently retired Boston police officers, recently retired officers in their own communities, all are coming back as special police officers to help supplement the full-time staff. And that's happening all over the state. So in the over 10 years I've been chief, I've never asked for an appointment of a special police officer, but it's going to be the wave of the future. And Kevin Filer, you can see, is a highly decorated United States Marine Corps veteran, having done 3 tours overseas in Afghanistan and Iraq. But not only there, but he worked on every major event in our community, every parade, every race, every walk, everything that we had that involved safety he was involved in, every new development, every business that went in. And so he's a very valuable asset that's highly trained, and for us to have the ability to have him come back and assist us in times of need, whether it be just working a detail or help us with an event, I'd like to have that. He'll have to follow through with all the same training requirements as the full-time officers. First aid, CPR, legal updates, use of force, firearms training, and so on and so forth. So to have him available to us is a plus. And I think we're going to have to take a hard look at trying to figure out what to do in the future. I was just looking to see if he was coming in, because I may have to expand that program to other recently retired full-time police officers. But because in Massachusetts, municipal police officers have to retire at the age of 65, I would ask that, if you're considering his appointment, that it be up until the age of 65, and that it would be effective immediately.
Absolutely.
I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, thank you, Chief. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Yeah, just quick, Mr. Chairman. So is this an annual appointment, or can we do a one-time appointment for, until he's like 62 now, is it, or 61?
Actually, I just checked, he's 60, so, yeah. So up until his 65th,
5 years.
yes, yes.
Does that, do you know, Mr. Administrator?
Yes, we can
It
do
would be-
one till we can do 65.
Yes.
I'm gonna say.
Should we want to?
Yes.
Great, okay. Second, I mean, this is a no-brainer, I understand that part, and I understand that this is a pretty big loss for development of a farm team.
Yes.
With the new laws. So that aside, no comments on that. It is gonna create a crunch, right? Towns are gonna start trying to steal other people's
Oh, no.
retired
Yeah,
officers.
that's already going on, yes.
So, we want to do that, I think, as quick as possible then to make sure, and, hopefully wants to stay in Marshfield anyway. I did notice, and you don't have to comment if you don't want to, Chief, that because of the same shortage, I was reading a recent article that said that Hull has started to hire civilians to do different calls, which, and they said answer phones, do this or that, go out, it seems like a recipe for potential disaster, but they don't have the training or this or that.
Yeah,
Is that anything we are thinking of, or have you thought of?
It's
The answer right now
nothing
is
that
no.
I'd have any interest in. I don't know enough about what Hull's doing, but I have heard in different places, different parts of the country, foolish ideas of civilian traffic officers that are unarmed, pulling
Yes,
over
they said for
vehicles.
details and things like that, yeah.
And I think that is a recipe for disaster because, oftentimes when officers get shot or attacked or violence happens, it's a result of motor vehicle stops. So as far as, we have fully trained police officers that answer the phone and dispatch cruises and do the walk-ins that come into the lobby. So everybody's a fully trained police officer and not a civilian here in Marshfield. I'd have to know a little bit more about what they're doing in Hull.
Yeah.
I know Hull used
I know
to.
just enough to ask the question, that was, so.
So Hull, Situate, a number of the communities that have an influx of the seasonal population for the summer, they would hire seasonal police officers, summer police officers. So Hull probably is not going to be able to do that now. I know Situate's going to have a real problem with that now. And that, in fact, in Situate, I think they were talking about, because of the void that this is going to create, the need to hire approximately 8 more full-time police officers just to meet their goals. So it's a big problem for all of us.
I appreciate your comment on it. I personally think that it's a phenomenally challenging profession. And, escalation and knowing how to escalate and not escalate is a huge taught skill set.
Yes.
It's not always instinctive.
Yeah.
You were kind enough to invite us to the fairgrounds, and I have to say, I failed miserably. And it was just, it shows the level of training,
Yes.
and civilians just don't have it.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, those are my only comments. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments?
Could we please clarify the term so that we can understand if we are, I'm excited that he's willing to continue to serve the town of Marshfield, but as we're voting, so we can understand it. And if it's up to you for the 5 years, if that's all right?
Yes.
Sure. You want to
Okay.
break down just the definition of a special police
Yes.
officer?
So basically, the appointment would be under the same chapter and section as full-time police officers. The title, there's a bunch of titles under Chapter 4197 and 97A that describe police officers. There's auxiliary police officers, there's special police officers, there's permanent intermittent police officers, full-time police officers. But in general, the appointment is a police officer. Now, a special police officer is somebody who is not part of the full-time staff, who does not receive benefits from the town like health insurance. They're not part of the retirement system. They don't receive a salary. They would just be used on a part-time basis when needed and paid that way as well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that information.
So there is no real cost to the town, just a benefit.
Thank you. Do you feel that answered your questions?
It does, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to appoint Kevin Filer as a special police officer in the town of Marshfield until the age of 65 with the powers to make a full custody arrest, and that'll be effective September 26, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. That's a big help. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
And pardon him not being here. He was, I told him that I thought we were going to go into executive session first, but this worked out even better. So, thank you.
You can grab a beer together now.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to pending litigation that have been conducted in open session may have a detrimental effect on the litigation of the town, and to discuss strategy with respect to real estate acquisition that if conducted in open session may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town to return to open session following the executive session votes. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
As a roll call. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session to return to public session.
Thank you. So we're going to get to our first appointment, which is the poll hearing for Everson Road. So first, I'll read the notice of public hearing. In conformity with the requirements of Section 22 of Chapter 166 of the General Laws, you are hereby notified that a public hearing will be held at the Marshfield Town Hall, Selectmen's Hearing Room, 870 Moraine Street, Marshfield, Mass., on the 26th day of September 2022 at 6:40 p.m. upon the petition of Verizon New England Inc. and N-Star Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, dated July 26, 2022, for permission to erect or construct and a location for a line of wires, poles, and such other fixtures as may be necessary to sustain or protect the wires of the line upon, along, across, or under the following public ways of said town, Marshfield, signed by the Select Board for the town of Marshfield. Is there a representative here from Verizon or from Eversource?
Yes, good evening. My name is Ross Billadu. I'm representing Verizon New England. We're in charge of installing this pole.
Great. Do you want to walk us through the plans for this project, Ross?
Sure. This is just a new petition for a new pole 155/6 on Everson Road. I know that the documentation that was included with your package says this pole is necessary to provide service on Everson Road, but it is actually to correct low-hanging wires. We're looking to install this pole and rerun some wires to correct some low cable that goes from the intersection of Second Road to next pole 5 up the street. It's my understanding that this came in as a customer request. Some neighbors were out here and flagged a Verizon crew down, and it's gone from there. So we're just trying to, fix something that's, detrimental to the public.
All right. Great. Thank you. And Jim, did you have any questions or comments or things that you would like to?
Mr. Chairman, not at this time. I'm interested to see how more information comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ross, have you been contacted by Attorney Jay Creed about kind of a proposed deviation for one of the pole relocations?
I haven't personally, but I know someone in my organization has, and I'm expecting someone to be present from that group at this meeting. So we'll go from there, I guess.
All right, sounds good. All right, Lynn, do you have any questions or comments?
You referenced pole 155.6, is that correct?
Correct.
And the existing pole is 356.3?
That existing pole is located on Second Road, so it's 356/3. This new pole 155/6 is to remediate the low-hanging wires between 356/3 and pole 105/5, as written on your plan.
Mr. Creed doesn't seem to be here, Mr. Chair.
He does not.
Nope.
I'm the resident.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Creed was supposed to be here, I don't know where he is, but I'm here.
Sure. Did you have any questions or kind of proposed alternative solutions you wanted to kind of walk us
I
through?
don't know if you guys have a copy of the letter that Creed had submitted. The copy needs to be surveyed.
Oh, yes, could you state your name and address?
Chris Arnold, 77 Everson Road, Marshfield. I don't know if you have the letter that Creed had submitted, and the copy of the surveyed property that Creed had submitted. Yep. When we mapped that out, the way that the unsurveyed proposal that came in the mail showed the pole running parallel down the street, it put it on our property. So it put it on our property, so it would be the third telephone pole, 5,000 square foot lot. So we were not approving or not giving the right of way to utilize our property for that third pole. What we had done with Creed was walk down the street, and all of the other poles run down the even side of Everson Road. We have the one, of course, in our yard that runs down the odd side. So if we put another pole instead of in our property, opposite, on the even side where the rest of the poles are, everything would continue to run perfectly fine.
All right, great, thank you. Ross, were you able to hear all that and take it in? You're still on mute.
Sorry about that. Yes, I heard most of it, I believe. I do know that the poles, the way they exist, are on the other side of the street, but we are trying to cross the street and correct those low-hanging wires. So the way that the poles are lined up, I mean, I can't do much about that.
I'm sorry.
Unless we redesign the whole street here. So.
I'm sorry, but if you look at the others, if you look at the pictures of the street and the drawing, there's no need for the lines to cross over the street and come back again. Everything would run parallel down the even numbered side of the street. It's an anomaly that it crosses over to begin with. So you could run everything down that side of the street and then continue to run everything down second. That's what our proposed drawing showed. And if you look at the street and the pictures that were provided, you'd see that as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me, so I can't reflect off whatever documentation you're referring to. Thank you.
Sure. So, Ross, what we could do is we could get that information to you guys, and if you could just do a kind of a quick feasibility analysis of it, and then we could just table it and return back to this at our next meeting if that gives you guys enough time. But we can make sure that we send your way kind of a breakdown explanation, and then kind of the schematics too, if that's more helpful as a visual guide. Would that work for you guys?
Sure. Hopefully we can get something, like you said, another feasibility study, maybe come up with another plan by the next meeting. Is that in a month or is that in 2 weeks?
I'd say about what?
Mr. Chairman, I would say to give them time, probably do 30 days.
Yeah, probably 30 days.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
That's fine.
All right, so you guys good, Jim and Lynn? All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to table a decision on this poll hearing and to revisit it at our next meeting in about a month. Second?
Yeah,
Awesome.
not necessarily next meeting, but they'll have 30 days, right?
30 days, yes.
Yeah, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, great. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
All right, our next appointment is with our town clerk.
May I approach?
Yes, you may.
So we need to talk about early voting.
Mhm.
The secretary, in his infinite wisdom, would like us to do it for at least 2 weeks. The first week would be half-time, at least, according to our population, which falls under the 25,000 but over 8,000 voters. Don't really have a problem with that. It costs us $45 an hour to have just the personnel to do that. We had 475 people take advantage of that in 60 hours that we were open the last time. So, not a great turnout, but better than a poke in the eye. So Michael had discussed taking it over to the church again, into their community room. We received an awful lot of complaints from the voters, just the distance, the ramp up to the site. I know that we're planning on being under construction on the second floor. I just wonder if there's something else that we can do. It also causes us a difficulty because we can't get to our computers, which are hardwired into our office. So if a voter has a problem, They find out over there, they send them over to us, we fix them, hopefully, and then they go back over there. So it's definitely better if it can be in town hall. If it's not going to be in town hall, then we need to send a letter to the secretary's office saying why town hall is not suitable for this. I would assume that actually has to go with budgeting, because if town hall isn't suitable and they're requiring us to have early voting, then they would have to pick up the fee for wherever we have it off-site.
Okay. And what were some of the complaints in particular that you guys received about the ramp?
It's just the length of the ramp. People had problems getting up it and getting down it. The ramp itself is great. It's just very long. And with elderly people, it's hard for them. We had to escort one poor woman out through the front of the building because she couldn't walk. She could get up the ramp, she couldn't get back down the ramp because she had bad knees, and the toll on her knees going up made it such that she couldn't go back down. So we actually had to help her out through the church and down the stairs. So, but the only person I reached out to all of my people that worked, and everybody pretty much heard the same thing, with the exception of Barbara Carney, who said she hadn't heard anything, but she knew that Otis couldn't get to church because he couldn't go up the ramp when they were replacing the steeple. I just honestly do not know of any other place in town that we can have the parking and a single-story entrance and exit. I mean, we're kind of stuck. Unless somebody else can think of something.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I don't have to have this back in until October 8th. That's the last day for me to propose something. So if you guys want to mull this over and can think of something, I'm open to listening to almost anything. It's just that, my whole thing here is that I don't want to start off in a position where we're discouraging people from taking advantage of this. I want to keep moving forward on this. I think that this is the way to go in the future. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people, but if we can't get them into the building, then it's not helping us. So.
Understood.
What would you say the positives are and negatives are for having it in town hall?
I love having it in town hall because it's a circle. They come in the front door, they go down one side, they pick up their ballot, they vote, they go out. So it works great. We have the voter registration system for the state of Massachusetts is hardwired. I cannot access it anywhere but in my office. So if someone has a problem with their voter registration, believes that they're registered to vote, we can't find them. For some reason, they come over and they talk to us. And then, of course, they have to go back and we have to send them back with a note or go over and, talk them through the whole process. Sometimes it can be simple. It can be somebody's name starts with an MAC and there's a space between the MAC and the Carthy part. Or sometimes people they just misinterpret how something is spelt. There's hundreds of things that can go wrong when you're doing this, but it's just so much better to have it in town hall. The church people are great. The space actually works really well for us. We were able to have the early voting pre-processing in that space, and we had our classes in that space. It's just the ramp. It's the accessibility that gives me pause. I can't imagine that we allow them to put the ramp on and then it's not ADA compliant. That's not even my concern. My concern is that when people come in, they're winded and they're, cranky, and that's not a good look for us.
How about the negatives for having it in town hall?
It's the fact that we're having construction. I'm not sure I haven't seen the plans for the construction. I don't know how it's going. I know that we're going to be tearing it apart. If we could channel that out the front door instead of out the back door, that would help. But I don't know about trucks. I don't know about getting equipment up and down. I honestly don't know what the construction is going to take in town hall. We put it over in the other building and we never actually started when we were planning on it. And I'm not sure if we're going to be on time this time. And that's why I said if we have until the 8th to actually make a decision. So if, God forbid, it gets put off again, then maybe we can squeeze us in. I don't know.
Do you have anything else, Jim?
No, I'd like to hear if there's any other comments or questions from my peers.
So, I'm disappointed that the ADA ramp isn't working to
I agree.
satisfy the needs. However, it must meet the criteria, and some people do, I know, I have a mom that gets cranky when she's, so I understand, but not that that's a
No.
reason for this town to make some of these decisions, but I would like to see it over there versus here because of the inconvenience and the unknown as far as where we are going to be, unless there is another option. But perhaps we could find somebody to assist people getting up the ramp or something of that nature and be able to work with you in a more streamlined fashion, getting your information back and forth if there are any questions. But
Yeah, that's
need-
that's not
that's
something we
not
can do.
something. Okay.
I don't have an option on that.
Okay.
There is no option.
So the option is to reach you or let you know someone's coming back over for this reason or that reason. Is that correct?
Yes, there's nothing that the state will allow us to VPN in on. I mean, everything is just, it's for security. It's for
Yeah,
voter
I
security.
understand that.
So, I don't particularly care for it, but I have to do what I have to do. I don't have, I'm immovable on that one.
Okay. All right.
Makes me sad.
Yeah. Is there any additional context or things to contemplate and consider,
Yes,
Michael?
thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, a couple of things. First and foremost, the ramp is an ADA-approved ramp, so some people may complain about it, but that is legal definition of the ramp. I don't know why the clerk's office wasn't using I would suggest that the clerk bring over the powered wheelchair that we have and the other wheelchairs, and people can assist people. For those who don't want assistance and want to be fully compliant with ADA, they can use the electronic scooter to get them over there. They just have to charge it. The clerk is 100% correct. You cannot bring the VRS system over there because it's hardwired, so no one else can get onto it. Most other cities and towns always have someone in the clerk's office they can call over and communicate. It is the 21st century, so people can do that. As far as the letter, we just need to send a letter to the Secretary of State's office stating where we're doing the satellite voting. A lot of cities and towns use it. The clerk's right, if we're really far away, it is inconvenient. In the city of Boston, it's huge. You could have to drive 17 miles to get to the clerk's office to get something straightened out. It's really not inconvenient. It's the building next door. Worked out really well when early voting first came out and the clerk was involved and we did it there. The other thing is even besides the construction that will be going on here and the laydown of the equipment, it's really the effect that it has on departments downstairs. November 1st is one of our larger tax collection months. That's when taxes are due. People start coming in the week before. So it's right bridged at the same time that we'll be doing early voting. So because of all that, it makes perfect sense to have a second location that's as close as that location. And I did talk to Reverend Bartlett, and he's happy to avail the parish hall again. We just need to send him the hours of operation, and like he said, he'll make it work. It's tough. I understand what the clerk is saying, that, people may get discouraged. I'm out in the community all the time. I never heard anything. People actually liked it. I didn't hear any negatives. No one told me they had trouble getting in, so I would have told them that we do have the electronic chair, so we have that shed out there, so we can have the shed. You can take that over, and then people can use that, and then we can probably leave it right over there because it can be plugged in at night. It plugs into a regular 110, and we do have wheelchairs that are available. We have 3 here. We can send a wheelchair over, too, to help accommodate those people if the ramp's long.
Thanks, Michael.
I think the motorized scooter is an excellent idea. I don't know that having old people push old people up a ramp is a very good idea at all.
I can tell you bad knees going down is worse than going up, but, so if I could just ask a couple questions, because I don't have a lot of historical background for this. So, has it historically been done in town hall?
No, we've only done early voting for a few years. The very first time we did it, it was done here.
Okay.
Last 2 years ago, it was done at the new DPW when we purchased that building.
yes, I remember
It was up at one of the bays,
Yeah.
and then we're doing it again this year, so.
Because of construction. We were constructing the elevator at that time.
Do we think the long-term goal is to have a permanent satellite, or is this, do you think, temporary because we have the construction? Obviously, we're gonna have an influx of people in the town hall for the health of the workers in town hall for potential COVID exposure, and it is a busy tax time. On the flip side, I'm hearing we've got online security issues, so they can't be online over there to help facilitate the citizens to be able to vote. But it's not a long way, it's not 19 miles.
And you can call on the cell phone.
And there is, maybe we've resolved the ramp issue. Do we think this is something we want to bring back to town hall, and this is a temporary thing for this year, or what do you think we want to do with this?
It depends on how comfortable the rest of the board is, but I mean, given the construction for this year, that really swung me. So I think for this year, maybe we'll use a satellite location as the next best option. Certainly not ideal, but maybe something we do for one more year. And then depending on how the rest of the board feels, I mean, we could revisit it every year or make a more long-term
Yeah,
decision.
this isn't, you don't have to make a permanent decision.
Yeah, that's what I just want, we're not setting any type of precedent. I mean, I personally can see both sides to this. I personally can see that with the construction COVID, that this year might be the best way to stay with that. And then maybe we'd be able to look at it and say, what was the feedback?
Yeah.
And if the feedback's great, if we want to keep it, we can. If we want to bring it back in when we've got the new town hall done, we can do that as well.
Could we have like a form that folks fill out at the church when they go to early vote? Just a really brief, quick
Experience?
survey.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, we can come back after. I mean, this year's with two things, the construction that's going on.
Yep.
And the tax. Once the construction's gone, in 2 years, we can revisit it.
Yeah. All right. Does everyone feel?
It'll be tax time.
It's always at the same tax time.
Always tax time.
Yeah.
But we don't have the
So do you
construction.
expect, I'm sorry, are you well? Do you expect the same numbers? So you said 475.
It's low, huh?
Is there no way of even, I'm just curious, just,
Well, I mean, the thing is that we do the advertising, it's on the website, we're open on Saturdays.
yeah. The
You
weather,
know.
I'm sure, is a
Yeah, I mean,
Factor as well.
it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. We have 4,000 people already signed up to get early ballots
okay.
for the election, which is actually 500 more than we did last, for the primary. We did 12,000 in 2020, but it was a presidential, so
Yeah.
I don't expect that amount, but it should grow.
It could be a growing way that people want to vote in the future. Who knows? Everyone has their preference on how to vote,
I just like it as an alternative. The more alternatives people have, the more people will vote. And that, of course, is my goal, is to get people to vote.
That's it.
I'm comfortable. No,
Okay. All right. Great. Well, thanks, Neri. Thanks for coming in
Thanks.
and walking us through
Thank
it.
you.
appreciate it.
So, all right. So
It's the very least I can do.
I'll go ahead
Thank you.
and make a motion to approve the First Congregational Church Parish Hall as the early voting location for the town of Marshfield for the general election in 2022. Is there a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that was read for 2022, correct, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Correct.
Perfect.
Great. All right. And yeah, and I should have announced this when we came back in, but I wanted to keep our appointments waiting. But our first action item is to announce the sign of an option agreement to purchase real estate at 255 Furnace Street. So that'll be coming up for final approval at our legislative body, which is the upcoming town meeting, special town meeting in October. Michael, are there any just big picture details that we can talk about?
It's, the school, it's for the schools. They want to use it for, I believe, pre-K, and that's to sort of the extent of what I know. They gave a brief, they just talked about it very briefly at the joint meeting that we had last week. So they're working out the finer details, and there'll be a lot more information coming up as leading up to town meeting, so that people will have information and be prepared to vote.
All right, great. Thanks, Michael. Did you want to weigh in, Jim? All right, any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, great. All right, we're onward and upward. All right, our next action item is a discussion and vote to approve capital budget borrowing of $1.25 million for fiscal year 2024. Do you want to break that down for us, Michael?
Yes. So, Mr. Chairman, if you've been hearing, 23, 24, 25 are gonna be lean, tight years. We've been very good. I don't want people to be confused because they are gonna be going to special town meeting and seeing us spend free cash. Free cash is a one-time payment on something. That doesn't add to the base. We can't add employees with that kind of money because it grows exponentially in the following year. Normally, we've been sort of ratcheting down. 5 years ago, we were at like $2.5, $3 million. 4 years ago, we were at like $2.5 million. 3 years ago, we were at $2 million. So we're coming down because, we want to stay within our debt. As people we hear when I do the state of the town, even though we did borrow $50 million to do our capital projects and seawalls, we've been managing our debt very well, that our actual debt went down, and they'll still see that. So in keeping with this, debt, just because we go out, it's like your household, there's a cost associated with that debt. So we've taken care of everything. Where, as anyone that watches the meeting, the Board of Selectmen approved probably a really big ticket item, $700,000 fire truck. Had we not had ARPA, that would have eaten up most of this money. So because of that, we're able to do more. So that's why we've been very aggressive. When free cash is good, we try to pay down as much as we can. I hate the term free cash. It's an oxymoron. It is tax dollars, but they're tax dollars that were already appropriated because we, went out to bid, because we used good business practice. We got our service. Remember, we start our budget a year and a half before we're actually spending it. So, all good things. The economy's been very good, but to stay within that premise, in talking with the financial team, the recommendation would be 1.25. And that should be ample for things that will need to be purchased. Like I said, ambulance supplies, we pay with, that's a capital item. We took out the fire truck, which was $700,000. That's huge. We're using ARPA money, $4 million for sewer and water repairs, so that will help out. So we've done a number of things to, even though it seems like a small number, that will get us by.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I agree. I hate the term free cash. That is the technical state DOR term, but while we're in the habit of renaming things, you would think they would tackle that at some point. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Just a quick comment, Mr. Chairman. I know that we spent a lot more on capital expenditures for previous years. Towns are just like homes.
Yeah.
You have to take care of them or they deteriorate. The attractiveness of our town and the infrastructure that we have in our town is what helps drive people that want to come here, as well as our educational system. I'm a big believer that investing in your town, especially proactively, and not always having to be emergency, because whenever it's an emergency to do a water line or this or that, because we know it's 50 years old, but we just let it blow up,
Right.
is way more expensive than it is to plan properly. So I know this is a lot of money. When you look at the overall budget of the town, it's not a particularly large amount of money when you look at the total budget. And do you feel comfortable, Michael, that is enough investment in our town?
More than comfortable, because remember, that doesn't take into consideration the $2.9 million of free cash that we're pumping in.
Right,
So
and
when
the
you
$4
add
million ARPA, right?
if you add that, I wasn't even adding, so 2.9 in free cash, 4 million in ARPA fund, 700,000 for the truck. We're close to 6 million, plus another, so this will probably this is a big year of investment in the community, as Mr. Kilcoyne was alluding to.
Yeah, so as I said, I don't want to diminish the fact that it's a tremendous amount of money, but if you look at what we've been able to do with the ARPA funds and things like that, it's 6 million, so you're getting really $6 or $7 million worth of capital improvements for 1.25.
Yes.
So, I just wanted to point out to the citizens that may be listening that there has been a lot of additional spending. We're not necessarily de-emphasizing investing in the town. We've invested a tremendous amount in the town.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, thank you.
All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2024 capital budget borrowing at $1.25 million. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Our third action item is a temporary entertainment license for the Plymouth County Highway Association Equipment Show at the fairgrounds. Did you want to set the table on that one, Michael?
Yes, so Tom Reynolds is part of the Plymouth County group. It's 27 communities. They'll be coming to the fairgrounds, and they bring their plows and their trucks, and it's really a little competition about the types of equipment that they have. There's also some contests for the best DPW employee that can handle a plow or a bombardier or any of the other types of equipment that they have. This will be the second time that they're doing it. I think they did it either last year or the year prior to that. And I think it's good that we're hosting it. We'll get other
Sounds fun.
people here. It's kind of a fun day. There's no entertainment, it's actual business. Tom wanted me to stress that. They're not having bands and music and dancing. The only entertainment is the competition with who can best drive they have a course set up and they have to drive the plows and stuff like that, so,
Yeah, let's hope we take a trophy home.
yeah.
We'll not travel very far.
Yes.
Are there any questions or comments, Jim? No. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, go ahead and make a motion to approve a temporary entertainment license for the Plymouth County Highway Association Equipment Show to be held at the Marshfield Fairgrounds on October 19th, 2022, from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. with no entertainment. Food to be served pending approval from the Board of Health. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, great. On to number 4, which is a one-day wine and malt license for the historic Winslow House Association. Looks like they're doing a fun, festive Gothic ghost tales presentation in October. Anything missing on that, Michael?
No, it looks like a really great event. Miss Parisi's she's been in the entertainment business for 25 years. I think this will be a great fundraiser for the organization.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, it sounds like fun, actually.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No?
I'll make a motion to approve a temporary one-day wine and malt license for Kathleen O'Connor for the historic Winslow House Association at 634 Caswell Street for Friday night, October 14th, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the Gothic Tales by Candlelight, pending approval from the Marshfield Police Department, the Marshfield Fire Department, and a copy of the certificate of insurance. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and our fifth action item is just a series of common vic licenses for Flannel Jam in October. So we gave them their entertainment license previously, and this is just a list of folks looking to operate with a common vic. Do you have any questions or comments about any of the vendor applications, vic applications, Jim?
No, except that they've got a really nice mix.
Yeah, they certainly do. Some good variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No?
All right, so this is going to be a series of motions. So first, I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for Cheese Louise, 175 Kangamangas Highway in Conway, New Hampshire, 03818 for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for Chef's Table at 1853 Ocean Street, Marshfield, for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for Dips at 432 West Fountain, Providence, Rhode Island, for October 8th, 2022, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for Rexicana/Levitate Backyard at 1871 Ocean Street in Marshfield for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for Slack Tide Coffee Roasters at 1871 Ocean Street, Marshfield, for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds, pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for the filling station, 5 McGuire Way in Plymouth, Mass. 02360, for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the building department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I make a motion to approve a common vic license on behalf of Kelly Moss for the Sausage Guy at 49 Lansdowne Street in Boston, Mass. 02215, for October 8th, 2022, from 2 to 8 p.m. for the Levitate Flannel Jam concert at the Marshfield Fairgrounds. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the building department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and number 6, some folks looking to link up their common vic licenses for an event in October for South Shore Buds. So we granted the entertainment license for this one. This one was 2 or 3 meetings ago, and I know that we sent some directives for the future batch of entertainment application licenses. But Jim, do you have any questions or comments on the common vic applications for this event?
4 buds.
Correct.
I think Lynn brought up that since this isn't like a one-off, like a 10th anniversary or grand opening or something like that, and it seems to be going more to a fairly high level recurring, that there might be other permits that might be needed, and I think we continued on that. And I had a chance to speak with a few people on this, 2 of which are attorneys that I value the judgment. They had somewhat similar but differing opinions. And I think we do need to go maybe and have this looked at by zoning. And the reason why I'm saying that, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to hear both your opinions on this, is because if this was like a restaurant or a bar, entertainment's part of their business. I mean, you would expect to go to a restaurant or bar, they might have a guitar player, or this or that, or a band. And this is what really changed my mind, that it needs to go to zoning. This particular point is that this is more of a retail operation. So I would not necessarily expect that Star Market would have some type of entertainment venue in their parking lot on a very regular basis. Maybe on the 50th anniversary of Star Market, I don't know. So this is not their core business, where bars and restaurants it is. So I'd like to turn it over to you, and, you know, I think because of that one thing, that it may need to be reviewed by the other board.
Sure, yeah, and I think at our last meeting, we did a good job of coming together and figuring out a way to kind of fix it moving forward. So for this one, just because it's so close, it's coming up in October, and we approve the entertainment license, I think because this one's so quick, we okay this one, and then they have some more time and breathing room to tackle and address the issue, where that might be kind of a good short-term compromise for now. So I didn't know how the rest of the board feels about that, if you wanted to weigh in first, Lynn, as a general comment, and then on that thought in particular.
Sure. The impression that I had when I just heard this for face value was that it was a grand opening. There's a lot going into this first year in doing the job of running a business and getting the word out there. So for that reason, I didn't say much about allowing this for this fall. So because of that reason, I think that we could let this, it's the first year of their operation, let that go as is, and then 2023, let the appropriate boards weigh in on it and move forward with the use and the other. They have had a successful couple. I believe they had a couple already, which is how I understood it. So I would be, if you are in favor of moving in that direction, I would be supportive of that move, especially where it's so close. But 2023 is definitely,
Yeah, understood.
we need to take an evaluation, so that's it. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Thank you,
Okay,
Lynn.
yeah.
Yeah, I concur. So what I was I guess trying to address, Mr. Chairman, is a follow-up of my thought process from the last meeting, so that they're aware that maybe in the future, that'd be a direction that we might want to encourage them to do. But yes, I agree. I thought that we made a good decision. We've already given them one that this time we'll move forward with that, but maybe in the future, they might want to look at different ways of doing this.
Yeah, so they've got a couple months of some breathing room to kind of tackle and put together a game plan for 2023.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, so you folks ready to move forward? All right, great. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a common vic license for Fletcher Suba of Slack Tide Coffee at 1871 Ocean Street, Marshfield, for October 22nd, 2022, from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. at South Shore Buds. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to approve a common vic license for Stephen Johnson of Duxbury for the Lido Express food truck at 186 Summer Street in Kingston, Mass. for October 22nd, 2022, from 7 a.m. till 4 p.m. at South Shore Buds. Pending approval from the Board of Health, the Building Department, and property taxes being paid. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jimmy, I always appreciate the heads up when I got to remind someone to state their name and address and anything else that I may have missed.
No.
So-
I didn't realize you were going to keep reading. I thought there was going to be a pause there.
Oh, no, you're
Because I know
totally.
he's dying
Yeah.
to
Mike,
do that.
we always love our town administrator report, so the floor is yours,
It's the
sir.
most riveting part of the whole meeting.
You're really too kind to me, thank you. Okay, very quickly then, Mr. Chairman, I'll get right into it. I had my weekly call with WATD, weekly management meeting with Fred Russell and PMA regarding issues of concern on the police and DPW project. Had a luncheon meeting with Chairman Darcy to review some issues. Had my February 24th budget meetings with all of our department heads. Lisa Clark, our treasurer collector, and Ann Bastille joined me as the finance team. I had a meeting with Lieutenant Shaw on FEMA issues from that January 29th snowstorm. We're still getting all of our paperwork together and working with FEMA. Hopefully, we'll get a reimbursement. Of course, they are about 5 years behind. We just, this past spring, got reimbursements from the 2015 storm, so.
Really?
We're getting closer. They owe us a huge amount of money from the 18 storm, and now we're working on the storm from 22. So the feds will catch up at some point. Had HVAC meeting regarding the police station, participated in the capital budget committee meeting with Ann Bastille, our town accountant, and Lisa Clark to review items for the special town meeting in October. Participated in DPW construction weekly meeting, had an after-action fair meeting, and we had flannel jam, so very much the same security plans that have been used, you know, scanning people, magnetometers, crowd control, clear bags, searching bags, all of that will be in play for the flannel jam, which is October 8th. If people miss it, it goes from Marshfield to Portland, and then finally on Columbus Day, it's in Nantucket. So, we had our weekly owner, architect, and contractor meeting on the police project. Had a meeting with the fire union, fire chief, and labor council to discuss some additional funding opportunities. Anticipated in Marshfield's first affordable housing development's 50th anniversary for Winslow Village. And that project was actually put together 50 years ago by the First Congregational Church of Marshfield. So they were ahead of their time in creating nice, clean, safe, affordable housing. Had a meeting with DPW to negotiate and work on the indirect charges. Was joined by Lisa Clark, our treasurer collector, and Ann Bastille. So we're working with Tom Reynolds and Dave Carrier to do that as we're preparing the FY24 budget. Participated in a joint meeting of the advisory board and the select board to review the special town meeting warrant articles. People looking for their warrant, it's on our website, or they can come here and pick up a copy. Participated in the Veterans Memorial Park and South River Ecological Restoration meeting with the Commonwealth and Conservation Commission and DPW. Attended the Marshfield High School Wall of Honor program at Hadads, where they recognized Carol Schran, Jean Moriarty, and Fred Poblowski. Had my monthly department head meeting. Had a meeting with Attorney Amy Queso and our building commissioner and our planner to discuss ongoing legal issues in a water protection zone. And I continue to work on aggregate electric with Matt Parent and Bill Batigi. And Good Energy, we are getting closer. I know people are forgetting about aggregate, but it was voted at town meeting, and it's a way for people to get greener electricity. They do pay a slight premium on it. I was at the Marshfield High School Wall of Honor, and one of the proponents who drafted the aggregate electric come up to me and asked for an update, and they were very excited. The big holdup is DPU. DPU is 2 years behind. They've been getting a lot of pressure from 6 or 7 other towns that are waiting to have their projects approved, so we continue to fight that battle, so. That is my town administrator's report, and if you'd like, I'll give you quickly, as folks know, we got the clinic running. To date, we've only been operating 6 days. We got 784 people vaccinated, so we're getting a large group of people that come through there. Everyone that comes through there, if they want, they get home test kits to take home, and we're also working on setting up flu shots, so we're gonna be able to offer flu shots there also. So,
Great.
we operate Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9 to 3.
Great, thanks, Michael. Has Kathleen tried sending lemon squares to the DPU yet?
We did, so, well, DPU, well, maybe she will try that, but she has sent over lemon squares and blueberry buckles so far.
Very good.
Perfect. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I don't.
Any
Excellent
questions?
report.
Questions or comments, Lynn?
Blueberry buckles, I haven't seen one. Nor a lemon square. I don't believe it till I see it.
We'll get those,
They're
we'll get
excellent.
those.
Trust me, they're excellent.
I'm no cooking, no, I'm all set, thank you.
Thank you. And I think our last item is a vote to accept the meeting minutes from September 12th. So I'll go ahead. Does anyone have any questions or comments first? No. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September 12th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.